let's start spelling. Let me share my screen. So our first word that we're going to spell today is going to look like this. This is a word that I give in a lot of my dyslexia assessments for people to read. Adults, 7th grade and older, I ask them to read this word, and rarely can they read it, which means that probably never can they spell it, but you're going to be able to here in just a second. All right, so here are the sounds. We have okay, you need to know for your rules the tap 2 rule. So the tap 2 rule means if a word has a short vowel in it, the next 2 letters have to be consonants. If not, you have to make 2. Like if there was only 1 here, you would have to double that letter. You also have to know about C. C will make its hard sound unless, so C will always sound like a K, unless the next letter is an E, I, or Y. Then it will sound like an S. It will sound like a S. So when you hear, for spelling, when you hear K, spell it with a C, unless that next letter is an E, I, or Y. Okay? When you hear K, spell it with a C, almost always. Let me see what other rules you need. I think that should do it. I mean, this is a suffix, and it has its own little kind of chant that I teach, but if you follow these 2 rules, you'll get it without even having to know about the suffix. All right, so the word that almost nobody can spell, but you're going to be able to, because if you know these 2 rules, you'll be able to spell it. And be sure that you count how many lines you have and that match mine, and that the right lines are dotted. Those are the vowels. Okay, your word is eclectic. Not electric, but eclectic. Eclectic. Go ahead and try to spell that in the Q&A. On your paper first. Eclectic. Take your time. We are spelling eclectic. Eclectic. Beautiful. Only one has come in so far. So that means either you're still working on it, take your time, or you're like, I'm not even touching that one. Mia, if this one, or anybody, if you are struggling with this one, put your pencil down, because you won't learn if you're in frustrated or confused mode. Put your pencil down and just learn, just watch what we're about to do. And then when you feel like you have it, then pick your pencil up and try it, or start with the next word. Eclectic. Julie, you got 3 sounds. That's great. We're going to accentuate the positive, right? We're going to be proud about all of the sounds that we were able to spell correctly. Eclectic. Eclectic. Gorgeous, Sheldon. Okay. Consonants first. K. Here's that K sound. When I hear K, I spell it with a C. Ek-ul. Ek. When I hear a K, I spell it with a C. So ek-ul, ekt, ik, When I hear a k, I spell it with a C. So that happened 3 times in this word. Okay, so if you haven't gotten that far so far, go to this point and then let's do the vowels together. So ek, l, ect, ik, ek, lek, tick, So we spell with a short e. E can spell when the next 2 letters are consonants. That's the tap 2 rule. Here's another spelled with a short e with those next 2 letters are consonants. And then here's an I, like itchy or igloo. Ek, lek, tick. Take a minute, look at that word, and I'm going to ask you to spell it. Really look at it in those syllables. So that will help you. Here we have ek, lek, eclectic, ek, lek, tick. So go ahead and look at that. In 3 seconds, I'm going to ask you to spell it. In my Q&A. In 3, 2, 1. Just to iron it in your head. You're not the only one, Clement. You just probably felt like it was wrong even though you got it right, Teresa, because you might not have ever spelled that word before. And it's a little bit of a brain twister, isn't it? Nice, everybody. Good. Eclectic. Yeah, eclectic means a wide variety, wide ranging. Okay, that was fun. Let's try this word. Okay. How am I going to dot this one? It's going to be like this. Gosh. I'm going to have to give you some really juicy hints on this one, but that's okay. I won't always do that, but I am on this word. It's a Greek word. So I'm going to put that right here because if you hear if you know it's a Greek word, that F is going to be spelled with the F sound is going to be spelled with a PH. And in this word, this is going to be an sound. And can be spelled several different ways. It can be spelled R, ER, IR, or UR. All of those spell In this word, it's going to be this one. However, since it's Greek, Greeks use Y instead of I. So it's going to be spelled YR. Right there. Your word is, if you can follow this alphabetic math here, zephyr. 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 Good. Yeah, this might be the first time a lot of you have actually written the word, right? It's a Greek word, so make sure you use this for the f sound. Oh, Danielle, I love that you thought that you put a Y right here. However, Y is only a substitute for the I sound or the I in Greek words, and this is actually an E, like Edward or exit or elbow. E. Catherine, yes, EA can spell the S sound. However, we only use a single letter if it will work. If it will work, stop, you're done. And it will work if those next 2 letters are consonants, which they are. Okay. Yeah, that is weird, huh? Okay, so a lot of you got this one. So we have that Z, because it's Greek, and instead of an IR, because it's Greek, they use Y's instead of I's, so it's going to be YR. And then here's that eh that is spelled with an E. You always use a single vowel if it will work. And if you don't have to use any vowel teams, you don't have to do anything else. If a single vowel will work to make that sound, stop, you're done, and it will work if those next two letters are consonants. So we don't need an EA, we don't need anything else. This is zephyr. Zephyr. Look at zephyr. And then I'm going to ask you to spell it in just a second, not yet. Because first, I want you to spell eclectic. Spell eclectic in the chat, in the Q&A for me. Try not to look at your spelling from before. Eclectic. Good. You guys can spell eclectic. You are in the top 1%. Few people can spell that word. Well done. After you spell eclectic, spell zephyr. Greek word zephyr. Gorgeous. Well done. Beautiful. Doing great. Wonderful. Fantastic. While you're still spelling and putting those in, I'm going to write the next word down. Okay, this one's not an easy one either. Got some doozies today. Okay, beautiful. For this word, we need the tap 2 rule. Every word has the tap 2 rule, just FYI. Wait. We need that C is how you spell the K sound almost always. Okay, now here is a rule. TI spells the sh sound when it's almost to the end of a multi-syllable word and there's a vowel after it. TI will make the sh sound if it's almost to the end of a multi-syllable word and there is a vowel after it. Okay, and you also need to know about the suffix us. Us is a suffix where it comes at the end of a lot of multi-syllable words. You don't hear the O, you only hear this short U sound, us, but you spell it with that O. So just, I don't know, some crazy idea. If this happened to spell us right here, then you're going to have the O and the U right here because these are sounds and not letters. So both this OU would go right here, even though you only hear because you only hear the U. The O is silent. Okay, just hypothetical. All right, your word is, now, this word is tricky, not because it has a lot of tricky spelling rules in it, but because there are a lot of sounds. And the consonant sounds stretch this one out. Let me just make sure I have all the sounds here. Yeah. Stretch this sound out. Make sure that you hear every single sound, especially around here in the middle. There's some consonants that might want to leave and not be heard, but we have to hear them so we can spell them. Your word is rambunctious. 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 I need one more sound, Sarah. Rambunk. Danielle, right here. Rambunctious. Beverly, that is beautiful. Rambunctious. Nice, Julie. Beautiful. Rambunctious. Rambung. There's an N in there too. All right. Oh, good job, Amak. Okay, here we go. Consonants. R, A, B, A, N, K. Those two sounds are the hardest to hear. Rambunk. Sh. When you hear sh toward the end of a multisyllable word and there's a vowel after it, like right there, it's often spelled with a TI. And here's our suffix us, right here, OUS. The OU goes here because you don't hear the O, only the U, and then your S, okay? Vowels. A will spell the A sound when those next two letters are consonants. U will spell the sound when those next two letters are consonants. That's the tab 2 rule. So here is ram, bunk, shus. Ram, bunk. Take a look at this, and then I'm going to erase it and have you spell it. Ram, bunk, shus. Pay attention to this N and this C. Those are the hardest sounds. Rambunctious. All right, while I'm erasing this, go ahead and spell eclectic in the Q&A. Eclectic. And then spell zephyr. Eclectic and zephyr. Now, spell rambunctious. Rambunctious. Let's see if it's any better this time. There we go. Yeah, you got it. Gorgeous. My goodness, my friends. Beautiful, Catherine. Amazing. Lovely. All right, I'm going to have to end on kind of a easier one because we only have a few minutes left here. Let's do this one. So I was explaining to my youth class today that R can act as a vowel. Same with L. Mind-boggling. I wish that I had several minutes to just kind of do a deep dive into this because you're probably going to leave class saying, she told me that R can be a vowel and L can be a vowel and she didn't explain why. I will explain it at some point, but yes, an R can act as a vowel and same with an L. It's such an exciting conversation that I can't wait to have with you guys. So one of these dots is going to be an UR. R can have 4 spellings, R, ER, IR, or UR. In this word, it's going to be a UR. And then you also need to know that A can spell the schwa sound when it's almost to the end. Of a multi-syllable word. When there's a consonant at the end. With a consonant after it. You'll need this rule too. So A can spell the schwa sound when it's almost to the end of a multi-syllable word with a consonant after it. So you're going to need this and this. Your word is rural. It's hard to say. Rural. You live in a rural area. Rural. I don't know who thought that was a word that should be allowed to be in our language. Rural. Just feels silly saying it. Rural. Yep, exactly. Rural. This is going to be an R. It's hard. I have a hard time saying it. Plural, I can say. Rural, I can't. Oh, everybody's spelling it correctly. Exactly. So here we have that UR and here we have that AL. Rural. That's why it is spelled the way it is. This A is making the schwa sound. All right, my friends. After you leave here, while you're hopping over to reading class, or if you're going to hop over to do your after dinner exercising, whatever you're going to do, before you leave, spell eclectic, zephyr, rambunctious, and rural, just to staple in all of those spelling patterns that you learned today. That was fun. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye, everybody.